Welcome in, everybody. We're going to get ourselves started with Team Spirit versus One Move. And hurry, it is good to be back. Well, I am actually home, but home in Eastern Europe as well. So getting started on this, you have a day ahead of me. You've seen how the game's going already. How was Sunday? Talk to me. How did, obviously, we're going to be looking at One Move. So how did One Move play in the last series that you saw?
It was very hard to say. I mean, both you and me casted the Division 2 of
Hmm.
Eastern Europe. It was just a couple of weeks ago. I got so used to DPC being so spread around, and now it's a little bit weird. But yeah. So, anyways, One Move, they fought against Hydra, and they looked pretty decent, right?
Yeah.
Though I'd say they have improved slightly over the span of those 3 weeks break, but I don't think it should be good enough to beat Team Spirit. Even taking a game off of them, it's gonna come probably from Team Spirit, doing their shenanigans with drafts and their experimentation that tends to happen from time to time. So I'm definitely not a firm one move believer here.
Radiant
Okay.
team
And what have you seen in terms of draft? Obviously Lena got hit with the nerf stick, from what I've seen, no longer first pick potential. Have you seen anything different coming through? Are you seeing these, because I've been told Meteor Hammer is the next big thing.
10
So our
seconds
team's trying to
remaining.
play around that coming into the DPC.
In Eastern Europe,
5
I
seconds
mean,
remaining.
no. At least we didn't see it. In the first day, we had
Si
6
čas
games. We only had
poigrajem.
one Meteor Hammer purchased overall.
Si čas
Yeah.
poigrajem.
So I was expecting more, to be honest, considering that in pubs everyone is picking it up. Though I do believe as we get more into the this league that we're gonna be getting more and more of those changes. What has been changed a bit has been the radiance, right? That
Yeah.
I think is the item that everyone is looking towards the most.
Yeah, because I mean, we saw before the changes coming through, heroes like the Naga Siren, the Spectre, they weren't the tippy top of the meta, but they were being picked. So, being able to get that Radiance a little bit quicker, a little bit
10
cheaper,
seconds
get
remaining.
online and get going. So, are those the heroes that you're looking towards? Are you looking towards
5
maybe a
seconds
revival of the
remaining.
Alchemist?
I'm looking forward to it, right? But for an alchemist to be revived, there needs to be a certain approach for
Radiant
teams
team
inside of the draft. So as long as people are still a little bit in the previous patch or before these slight changes that we've got,
Mhm.
I don't think an alchemist is like the top pick, but Spectre definitely is. And Naga Siren got hit with a couple of
10
nerfs, but I
seconds
think the buff
remaining.
to the Radiance actually allows you to play a hero in a slightly different
5
way,
seconds
which
remaining.
might or might not be explored by teams. There's not going to be a lot
Yeah.
of time in this patch, to be honest. So I don't even know if teams should experiment too much here in week 1, especially.
That is true. Yeah, no, the bigger patch 7.33 will be coming in. What did they say? Late April.
You mean
So
8.0?
yeah, well, um, but the next
Team
big patch. I mean,
Spirits,
everyone's got their
turn
fingers
to
crossed for
pick.
8.0, but that might be too big a leap right
Si
before the
čas
major.
poigrajem.
So yeah, I am seeing a lot of familiar heroes. The Rubik coming out, the Tiny, the Death Prophet. Ench being a first phase ban here, that's something a little bit different to me. But the IO, the
10
Brood.
seconds remaining.
Have you seen any Witch Doctors?
5
Because Witch
seconds
Doctor
remaining.
was, that offlane Witch Doctor with the IO combo, and he only got,
Team
stronger with that last
Spirits,
patch.
turn to battle.
So maybe that's a hero that we might be seeing a little bit more of.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it. That was one game where we saw it, and
Yeah.
well, never again. It was cool to see. Being innovative is great, but those innovations they work 1, 2, 3 times, not more than that. If you overuse it, people will find a way to deal with it, and they'll absolutely crush you. So it
You
is
say
a
that.
surprise factor.
But Dendy was playing it mid in NA last season. Even before Game and Gladiator. Was it Game and
Radiant
Gladiators that
team
brought it on?
ban.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? And
It was ace.
yeah, so Dandy, he is the innovator. He was running that mid.
And that is actually imagine how much pride than they feels that after like 20 years in competitive Dota, that's a little bit too much. But yeah, a lot of years. He's definitely in the second decade if you count it there. He is still called the innovator. So it just means that ideas just keep pouring into him. But yeah, I haven't been following NA too much. I did watch a couple of games, but it wasn't something that caught my eye all that much. So I can't really comment on it too much. And yeah, I still think it's not gonna catch up like that. Everybody is playing. There's gonna be a person here and there, but it's not gonna become meta. At least I don't see it that way. Would be really surprised if that's the case.
Okay. And speaking about innovations as well, this is my first look at the new draft panel that production have got going for us, and this is clean. This is just absolutely, I'm going to praise production because it looks absolutely amazing here. But getting the bands next to the pick order as well, easy to follow and just absolutely clean. But coming into this next phase, so we see already, like I said, a lot of green heroes being picked up here. So is that the theme for this next patch? The green heroes coming through, Nature's Prophet being banned out. Is there anything you're expecting to see in this next phase?
It's a spring tour, Rob, so that's why everything is green. We're gonna get the fresh grass, some flowers coming up and stuff like that. So that's why we are in the green theme. But yeah, I'm very much surprised by the Death Prophet. So that's why I'm not sure where one move are gonna be going with this one. Gilgir plays a mean Tiny, though then again he plays a mean Techies, a mean Hoodwink as well. So I think it's very tough right now to actually pinpoint what they want to do. But maybe a Snapfire could be great. Oh, they're gonna go for the Disruptor, which I would say is not a hero that I'm a big fan of, especially if you're coming in as the underdog. If you're coming in as the underdog, this is a hero that could really break you, because when you start being behind with the Disruptor, well, good luck doing much with the hero.
Yeah, and looking through as well. Yeah, that is something that I've always heard, that it's a great hero when you're ahead. But one move, how much can they plan to be ahead in this first game here up against Team Spirit? Because I mean, Team Spirit still, I mean, last season I don't think they dropped that many matches. Did they drop anything apart from? They didn't drop anything apart from Tibet Boom, did they?
No. They did lose a couple of games here and there. Usually the second game, Team Spirit, I have to say, they have been approaching the second game or one of the games in a series always a little bit different in terms of draft, which I think is fine, right? But at some point you need to get into the winner's mentality, right? So I do believe that maybe in this season they're not going to be experimenting all that much, and then they'll have time to do it on the major if they make it there, because, well, it's probably going to be played on a new patch. Okay, scratch that. There's the experimentation. Anti-Mage got slight buffs, and we are going to be seeing it now.
Yeah, and how do you feel about the Anti-Mage coming back into this? Is it a good, because I mean, like I said, the lean of those heroes that do come online a little bit quicker and want to start to roam with the team did get a bit of a nerf. So I feel like the game, at least the lane stage before you hit that mid-game 5 versus 5 fights, it does go a little bit longer, gives a little bit more time and space for the Anti-Mage. So do you like the pick in general for the Anti-Mage, or do you think that the game is still a little bit too fast to be picking this hero up?
I'm okay with the Anti-Mage overall. I think there's always space for a hero in the game. I think this game in particular, though, it's not a very good Anti-Mage game, to be honest, because it's not like you're up against an offlaner that you absolutely crush. There are things that catch you: Static Storm, Glimpse, Avalanche. All of those are spells that you don't want to be playing against. Silence, I mean, you're gonna have the Manta, but either way, it's not ideal. Your towers will tend to fall, and now with the PA coming in, I mean, look at Team Spirit's heroes. They have absolutely no armor, literally no armor if you look at them. So I'm kind of afraid now for Spirit. I think this is one of their experiment drafts. Yatoro probably said, "Yo guys, I tried the Anti-Mage in a pub. It's looking good, and let me have it no matter what." It's not like you're gonna look at one move's lineup and, okay, these guys get destroyed by the AM. They really don't.
Yeah. So what would you then expect? Because it looks like it is going to be Lal's hero left to draft, unless you want to pull something funky like the mid Rubik. So looking at this here from Team Spirit, like I say, there is very little armor. What are you looking at here for Team Spirit in this mid lane? What would you expect them? They ban the Ember Spirit. I was actually going to suggest that for Spirit to pick up themselves, because they do have that next pick. But is there something that you think fits here for Team Spirit?
Anything that can burst down the PA. We've seen some Queen of Pains being played out, even though I haven't seen much success of it. It is a way to go. You need magical damage to deal with the PA. You're gonna be in a ton of trouble in this game if you cannot pressure the hero, right? Even if the AM and the PA are kind of similar in farm, the PA will cut down everyone. So you have to have a hero that's gonna be finishing people off, and that's pretty much what Laurel plays. You know, the snipers, pucks, spirits, stuff like that is something that comes to mind. Even the Snapfire that just got banned out. That is. Those are Laurel heroes that would definitely fit the narrative of Team Spirit's draft.
Yeah, I suppose if you can combine the Mortimer Kisses with something like the Beastmaster Raw Telekinesis, the Phantom Assassin, it does a lot of damage that you wouldn't be able to stand up to. So, getting removed the Team Spirit, looking for this next set of bans, and the Death Prophet, is this definitely going to be, because I mean, I've seen it last season, the Death Prophet was split between the off lane and the mid lane. So, where do you prefer this Death Prophet here for the draft of one move?
I'm thinking about it right now, and I feel like you could lane the Tiny Death Prophet in the offlane. Everything is kind of open for one move, considering they have the last pick.
Yeah.
I'm actually not sure. Maybe I'd rather put it mid because it's not a natural anti-mage counter, and then maybe you can get a Slardar or I don't know, an LC. Though considering there's an Undying in the lane, I'm not sure that those classic counters would necessarily work. So overall, I do believe mid might be the best option, but I wouldn't mind it being in the offlane either.
Okay, well, I mean, I suppose one move do have the last pick, so they can respond to however Team Spirit want to draft here. Spirit, they've got themselves about 40 seconds looking for this last pick on the mid lane. Like I say, I'm completely out of the. I've had time off. My head is just it's all gone. So relying on you here, Harry. What heroes are you looking at for Lal? Because they've already banned out the Keeper of Light as well. Is there anything for Team Spirit? I know you talked about the Queen of Pain. Is there anything else you'd like here to see that Lal could play in this mid lane?
Queen of Pains use maybe an Invoker, right?
Yeah.
But Invoker is very risky because you could be lacking damage. So I just want to see damage. That's kind of like whatever it is. I want it to be a nice damage output hero. If they would go for double push, that would be kind of hard. Yeah, okay, there's damage, there's space creation. Disruptor and PA are your targets in this game. They have to die, and if you have the resources, you want to be able to respond when the Death Prophet uses their ulti. So it's a solid pick for sure.
So would you be looking here on the side of Team Spirit, if this is the Death Prophet mid? Are you keeping that Storm Spirit there to, once the level 6s start to come out on the Death Prophet, on the Storm Spirit, is it up to the Storm Spirit to roam to create the pressure on the side lanes? Or do you want to be sitting in that mid lane, because obviously once that Exorcism starts to come out from the Death Prophet, you will start to lose that mid tower quite quickly. Do you then look for the rotation in from the Rubicon and the Undying to put the pressure onto the Death Prophet?
It's you need a strong Storm Spirit, right? You need someone that's gonna be able to get kills. If you rotate a little bit too early, that could backfire. So I think that Laurel will probably be slightly on the greedier side, especially for the reasons that you mentioned, defending the tower initially. And then if you get a good rune or something, you're going to rotate. But obviously, you're going to be focusing on yourself until you're absolutely certain that you can go for some of these squishy heroes like the Disruptor, like the PA.
Okay. And how do you see the team fight going here from Team Spirit? Because I'm looking at it and there's not a lot of. I suppose you've got the Fade Bolt coming out, you've got the Axes and the Storm Spirit if you can get up close and drop those remnants. But I'm looking at it and the burst factor isn't really. I'm not seeing it for Team Spirit. The long drawn out fights. Do you think that favors a Darkseer coming out now as well? So in the 5 versus 5s coming into the mid to late game, who do you favor between these two teams?
Well, if it's coming to a fight, right, the one move are undisputed gonna win it. But the way that Team Spirit wants to play this one is that they want to poke. They have superior vision, they have superior mobility, and you have to utilize that one. This last pick of a Darkseer is actually very weird to me because Anti-Mage is considered to be one of the better heroes to lane against the Darkseer, and it's two melee strength heroes versus an Undying. So I think one move have put themselves in a position where, you're gonna be very strong in a team fight, but something that has been a reoccurring theme in the games 2 days ago is that Afterlife has had a really bad time in the early 10-15 minutes of the game, and I think that is a big problem because he should be the one creating space. He needs a lot of levels, and with this hero, especially against an anti-mage, it's not an easy thing to do.
So how do you see One move. I mean, looking at like you say, because the Darkseid not having a really good time in that lane. Do you expect then for him to just get the minimal levels in this lane and then maybe move into the jungle with the Iron Shell and look to farm up, or do you need to stay in the lane and try and put what pressure you can on Yatoro? Because I mean, Yatoro, if he gets that free lane, if he gets that quick battle fury, it is a problem for one move. So how do they want to play around this lane?
It's a tough one. I think you just leave Afterlife to get whatever out of that one, and you make sure that you crush the Stone Spirit with the Tiny.
Okay, guys, this is going to be the first game of Team Spirit versus One Move. But first, we're going to have a quick word from our sponsors and get right into it. So check it out.
Bets on esports, bets on streamers, impressive bonus system. Welcome bonus up to $600, cashback, artifacts, regular promotions, daily giveaways. Try yourself as a bookmaker. Great lines. EGB.com, more than just a bookmaker.
Welcome back as we get ourselves straight into this game. So let's take a look here in the mid lane. We can see that already, you know, there's starting to be some, well, the wards are going down. There's a couple of smokes going through as well. And looking at this, Harry, even at level 1, do you think there's a potential for a gank here, or is this just, you know, both teams posturing, looking to get some wards down, looking to get that vision?
I mean, there's always a chance that someone missteps, but if no one missteps, I don't think there's gonna be any potential for a kill. I don't see one move being crazy enough to run in with heroes that basically don't do much level 1. Tiny's probably gonna skill up a tree. You have Iron Shell level 1, which does absolutely nothing, and yeah, a PA good at chasing, but not really good at fighting. So you're probably gonna try to dodge Spirit, especially the Undying here. Get your 2 runes, and that's about it.
Okay, well, we'll see coming into this game. I mean, the wards have gone down either side of the river. Both teams looking to get that going. You know, just get that early vision here. There might be a mini engagement coming through on this bottom rune as we see 3 heroes. No, it looks like the Storm Spirit moving himself away here. So yeah, Mira and Collapse, they move themselves into the river, and it is just going to be that 2 for 2. Gilga going to be chased down. Yatoro, I think he's just a little bit slower though than the Tiny, so not going to be able to catch up, get that damage off. And Gilga even taunted him though with a high 5. Yeah, with those boots, Tiny just a little bit faster.
AM is one of the faster heroes in the game. 310 is actually a pretty good movement speed, but when someone has boots, well, it's not really going to be possible to get on top of them barefoot.
Yeah, and looking at this mid lane, we see Ironcrad coming up against Lal. I mean, Lal already starting off here with the Remnants and Ironcrad in that. With the Crypt Swarm, any changes to the build for the Death Prophet? Is it still Crypt Swarm as well, the Spirit Siphon you want to be going towards?
No changes there. Maybe you're going to get an early point in Silence, but just because of the Storm Spirit, probably not even.
Okay, the toss back onto Miposhka. Miposhka going to be taking some Iron Shell damage here now as well. Coming up against Afterlife, but Gilga taking the tower shots. Trying to get that pull through. Will lose his courier, so technically first blood, but I mean, poor couriers only trying to do the jobs as the Iron Shell continues to go down here, even underneath that tier 1 tower. Trying to get that drag away. Maposhi taking a bit of damage from this in Afterlife. He just wants to keep the pressure onto the anti-mage, it looks like. And yeah, the Iron Shell, even with the tower shots, it's still going to be doing a little bit to Yatoro, but on the bottom lane, there's a lot of damage going onto the Disruptor and Pantomime. He needs to back himself away. Even Monkushi suffering a bit in this lane.
Yeah, this is the thing that Beastmaster and the Rubik, they like to spam a lot, and you're up against the PA, and both of them started off with sticks, so they're gonna have the mana to do so, and this is already proving to be a problem for One Move, who, I mean, they themselves didn't get the sticks, and only now they're gonna be delivered.
Yeah, and you can see the odds on screen from EGB. They do think that Team Spirit is going to have a bit of a better time in this game. Not massive odds there for One Move. You know, they're not looking at 10 to 1s, 11 to 1, anything like that. But they aren't the favorites here, as you can see the odds from EGB. Bottom lane, Collapse is going to be taking a lot of damage, though. Can he get himself in a safe position from this? The Thunderstrike coming through now, level 2 onto Pantomime. So he does have that glimpse as well as the Thunderstrike. And how do you feel? I mean, we're seeing a lot of disruptors now. In fact, Pantomime might be the one in trouble. We'll come back to that in a second. Pantomime, can he get himself away from this one? Collapse, he might be the one to pick up first blood. He will be. And the disruptor does go down.
Collapse just doing his things. He popped a salve intentionally so that the enemy see him, and then he started juking around the trees. So you want to take that one away as Pantomime, and suddenly you're just dead because you're a little bit too deep.
Yeah, and how do you feel about, I was going to ask before the first blood, but disruptors, we're seeing a lot of them go for that glimpse level 1. How do you feel about this being picked up? Because I know in the past a lot of people were, you know, adamant that Thunderstrike level 1 was the way to go.
it does a lot of damage. The thing is that the cooldown is pretty high. So I'm not 100% certain it's the best spell in terms of damage, but in terms of conserving your mana, it's definitely up there.
Okay. And mid lane, you see Lyle taking some harass coming out from the Death Prophet here now as well. He's got his bottle, boots flying in on the courier as well. So Lyle going to be able to get himself into the jungle, find himself this bounty rune as well, just to refill the bottle. And even maybe, yeah, dropping a remnant here as well. As back on the bottom lane, you can see that Munkushi, he's not being deterred just yet. Still throwing those daggers out, still getting the aggression onto Collapse. So Beastmaster going to be a wee bit careful here, but he does have the tangos, has that regen, and should be fine.
Collapse is gonna be okay now with the Helm of the Iron Will so early on this Beastmaster. He's not really gonna be in that much trouble. PA started off with the Blightstone. You know, Munkushi had an idea of being aggressive onto heroes that don't really have all that much armor, but when both of them, you know, when Mira has a wand and when Collapse has the Helm of the Iron Will, you don't die. And Phantom does, actually.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble here now, Phantom. He's going to juke up to the top up north now. Glimpse comes out onto the Beastmaster, so Collapse taking a lot of damage to Munkushi, but the Fade Ball is still there to get the kill on Munkushi. He wasn't able to jump. Not going for the Phantom Strike onto the Beastmaster there as well on Collapse. Does he want to come back into this? He has mangoes to throw those axes. And yet Munkushi just disappears.
They're outplaying one move. One thing that Spirit tends to know how to do, especially in their offlane, is to play the lane. And one move where, well, one of their biggest weaknesses has been the laning phase, and they haven't drafted themselves up for success in terms of lanes. So we are kind of seeing the problem in that one. At least the Darkseer is farming okay-ish, but Yatoro is not being pushed back at all.
Yeah, I know, you can see that on the net worth. Yatoro is still third in net worth. Mira on the bottom lane is going to take some harass, but yeah, Yatoro, he's still looking fine. And Afterlife, he's running out of mana now as well. He's got that Ring of Health, but he doesn't actually have anything to regen the mana. So going to be chased down with Poshka as well. The damage coming out onto Afterlife. Afterlife just trying to do what he can underneath this tier 1 tower. The double avalanche does come through. Toss back now as well onto Maposhka with the Iron Shell, but Maposhka just going to be able to walk himself away from this. Nothing to keep him anchored in. And now Yatoro just comes right back in for the harass onto Afterlife.
Team Spirit are really going for the aggressive plays on both bottom and top, and with these kind of approaches, they're just getting so many creeps away from the enemy cores.
Yeah, and you can see this, the Anti-Mage so confident, he's diving behind that tier 1 tower with his blink aggressively. Maposhka trying to do what he can with the decays as well, getting those stacks up, building the health, building the damage as well. And at the minute, Team Spirit, it's only a 1k net worth lead for them. 3 kills ahead though. Nearly 6 minutes in. Every single lane it looks like. Well, maybe not the mid lane, but he is only about 400 gold behind. But yeah, the 2 side lanes at the minute, Team Spirit having a really good time.
Yeah, but Laurel will be a much faster farmer than Aincrad himself. The thing is, Aincrad needs to make those towers fall, and considering that the lanes went badly, it's not going to be easy to do. Whereas Laurel, with this build that he has gone for, well, he's just going to be able to farm the creep camps and stuff like that, and just get himself up there in terms of net worth. So Team Spirit are in a very comfortable position right now on all of their heroes.
Yeah, and I suppose when the Beastmaster is going to be your tower pusher as well, it just means that Lol can match the aggression, match the rotation of Aincrad. If Aincrad rotates to one of the side lanes, maybe try and get a push down onto the tower, if they find a gap, you know, Lol just matches it, gets the damage out, zips right in, drops a remnant, and Aincrad has to be really aware of where he uses this exorcism, because Storm Spirit will just be able to rotate and follow.
That is true, and you can see that Aincrad is trying to move. They just know they have to make a kill happen, and they will. Mira, of course, will try to go for a TP unsuccessfully, but those kills, like this one, need to be fast. If that took any more time, it would have been a disaster, but this way, it's actually quite nice for one move.
Yeah, really nice kill to get them on the board, onto the Rubik there as well. But, I mean, the Beastmaster's not going to mind that collapse. He's going to be fine just farming up. Munkushi moved himself right back into the lane to find it. And how's Munkushi doing in terms of net worth? If we take a look at the... God, he's about 500 gold behind the Anti-Mage, and that's nearly half an item on one of on your Battle Fury, and it is going to be the Battle Fury here. It looks like for Munkushi, he's already got that Orb of Corrosion, but he's got that Ring of Health, so it looks like he wants to go into the Power Treads and then right back into the BF.
The thing about Battle Fury heroes is that the timing is very important, because it increases your farming speed by so much, especially on a hero like a PA, because you can easily farm the Ancients once you get it. So, you know, being behind the AM is already going to be a problem, and his laning phase not going well means that he probably won't be coming in to get kills, whereas an AM can always join the fray, use a mana void just to accelerate the farm, just like you.
Yeah, all mid lane, there is going to be jump in though, there's going to be the Vortex back as well. Aincrad going to get himself away from this one. The silence comes out onto 3 heroes, but the toss going to be there, trying to get him to safety. Oh, the damage is going to be off to Aincrad, trying to get himself away. And Mira will still get the kill, and the chase down onto Gilga. Gilga, can he get himself away from this one? Not with the telekinesis. And even Munkushi, I mean, Munkushi's going to try and jump himself in, but he's not going to be able to get the kill, and there's a regen rune there for Lol. Lol will be absolutely fine. In fact, if they want to reset after he's got a lot of mana, a lot of health back, they could make another dive in, but it looks like Collapse on the bottom lane. He's even just going to be able to split this wave, so it's just going terribly, terribly wrong here for one move all over the board.
Munkushi, if he dies right now, it's going to be an absolute disaster, and Larl is going for it. Okay, he's fine. That jump from Munkushi, there was no way you're getting a kill. You don't have level 6. Let's say you have level 6, you're hoping, okay, I'm gonna double crit and I'm gonna get him, right? I'm relying on luck, but with 70 damage, you're not killing anyone.
No, absolutely not. And he dove himself into 4 heroes. I'm surprised he wasn't punished more for that. But it looks like Team Spirit were just in full, you know, they got their objectives and they just wanted to back themselves away. Maybe not even thinking that Munkushi was going to jump into 4 heroes.
That is one of the plays that is only enabled because you absolutely crushed your opponents in the laning phase, right? You go in that play with 1 or 2 levels less on your heroes in general, and one move, turn it around completely because the DP survives. You saw how close it was, and they brought 4 heroes, right? So Spirit recognizing the fact, or, you know, kind of trying to see where their limits are, considering that it started so well, and they had no limits in that one. Killing Aincrad after the exorcism was used, you kind of crippled one move for a very long time now.
Yeah, and this is the thing that we saw that Collapse didn't even rotate into that. He was able to get that tier 1 tower on the bottom lane. And if one move want to try and do the same thing, like you say, it's going to take them a little bit longer because there is no exorcism here for the next 40 seconds or so. So it looks like Afterlife, he's just going to be skipping the wave, and the Death Prophet moving back into the jungle while the Beastmaster moves into the mid lane, looking to take down another tier 1 tower.
Larl now wants to play very aggressive because he knows there's no level 6s on the Disruptor and he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's going to get that dive in now as well. The Vortex comes out. There's going to be the Fade Bolt, and Larl does get the kill. He's going to be getting really down low, though. Does he have any bottle charges left? He does, even a Shared Tango there. So to get the kill, they don't overextend, and they back themselves away safely. Really good play there from Team Spirit, just to get the 1 pick off.
This is very smart from Team Spirit. I'm betting on the fact that when the game started, they said, guys, we want the fights to be around the mid lane. We don't want our Storm to rotate, and we do not want their DP to rotate. So let's play around the mid lane. And they managed to do it so well. They win the side lanes. They even bring an anti-mage to the mid lane, and now everything was around it. This mid lane tower, 1 move, it shouldn't have fell, and especially shouldn't have fell before the top tower of Spirit. And now Spirit can do whatever they want because they're so far ahead.
Yep, the Roar being used there. Avalanche did get off before the Roar came out, but it wasn't enough to keep him alive, and Pantomime just has to TP himself away, trying to help out his fellow support, but now the Roar is down. Do they want to go into Munkushi? Munkushi, he is going to be in that blur form with the active going, but it looks like it's actually going to be a rotation up to the top lane here. Yatoro trying to make the dive. Afterlife, the tier 1 tower, it will go down. Exorcism is going to be used. That's actually going to be a really nice into the Clancy Field Static Storm, but do they have the damage to take them down now as well? Afterlife needs to move himself around, and Mira will be taken down, and Yatoro just jumps himself right into this. But Miposhka's going to get low. Miposhka will go down. The Vortex on the back line. They might be able to get the kill onto the Darkseid now as well. But no, Yatoro's going to get really down low. Did they get the kill onto Lal? Lal's silenced. So not going to be able to zip-zap himself away from this one. And Yatoro has got that blink. Can he get himself away from this one? It looks like he might just be able to. So low health. But one move, a really good fight to take down 3 and only lose the Darkseid there.
Yeah, you could see from that fight that what Team Spirit are doing are testing the limits of their lineup, testing the limits of their heroes. Because there is no reason that you go to defend that tower rather than seeing what I can do. And if they were playing against another tier 1 team and you could defend the tower and you don't, you might lose a game, because with here you lose a fight, but you're still not losing all that much map control and stuff, and you know, and farm around the map, so you are okay with giving it away. But overall, it's a big win for one move overall.
Yeah, and while that's happening though, Yatoro was able to get himself out alive. He's still continuing to farm. Even before the Battle Fury's up, you can see that he's got about 1,000 gold net worth lead over Munkushi. Munkushi could be in a little bit of trouble now as well. If you actually want to make the dive, I think they know roughly where it is. The pink is coming through here, and Porsche the furthest one forward. Mira's going to back him up, and that blur form is there. And then Kushi was that diving, was going to be stolen now as well. Lol, he wants to get himself right into this, but there's going to be the Phantom Strike away. Now, well, telekinesis, they have that zip zap back now as well. The Vortex and Munkushi, he's going to get low. Do they have enough? They absolutely do to get this kill. Static Storm
Big one.
comes out. They trap 3 heroes. Do they have enough damage to get the return kill? They do. They take down low. But Collapse, he wants to come in onto this now as well. The glimpse comes out, but the roll will be there. And the damage onto the Tiny should still be able to get that kill. They will be able to. Even Pantomime and Porsche wants to go into the base over this. Oh, maybe just a little bit too far here for the Undying.
Yeah, maybe. I think that you are maybe right that Team Spirit were a little bit too far 13 minutes in. This kind of reminds me of Tops on TI9, you know, when he's diving you in tier 3s 12 minutes into the game. But yeah, this is definitely too deep. They are creating space for the anti-mage, but considering Yaro doesn't have a Battle Fury yet, it's not like his farm is going to be accelerating like a lot from these kind of moves.
Yeah, but I suppose, again, any time that the Phantom Assassin is going to spend dead, it is going to be an opening for the anti-mage just to create a little bit more of a gap. And I mean, he's only, what, about 300 gold away? Not even that, he's about 140 gold away now from completing that Battle Fury. So it is going to be about a 14-minute Battle Fury here for the AM. Meanwhile, the Phantom Assassin, he's going to be so far away from this.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah. Definitely needs time on Munkushi, but yeah, I mean, with the broadsword in general, you're gonna start doing a bit more damage. The biggest problem for Munkushi is that he really cannot join a fight, right? If he jumps into the middle of the fight and the Beastmaster is a part of it, the other ones maybe he can escape from, but the Beastmaster, no. He is definitely gonna die, but One Move are finally going for a move of their own, and at least forcing out some TPs here on the anti-mage would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, the silence comes through now as well. Do they have that toss back? The avalanche as well was that toss. There is going to be the shield up, and Yatoro is just going to be able to blink himself out.
He returned the A-toss. That was not perfectly played by One Move. They wanted to combo all of their spells perfectly, and because of it, in the end, the A-toss came a little bit too late. You push it back with the counter spell, and suddenly you don't have enough lockdown for the kill.
Yeah, and you see that, I mean, Ironcrad, he popped the double damage rune for that there as well. So they want to get something out of this. They've got that exorcism going. He's going to be wearing off, so the fortification. You want on the bottom lane, Pantom in the Vortex now as well. The drive back onto Disruptor. He does not get out alive.
The biggest problem is that the tier 2 will fall. A next wave of creeps is coming. You don't have your biggest teamfight ulti at this point. You're in trouble. Of course, One Move, we're here talking about how Spirit are controlling this game, but if I was Spirit, I'd stop playing around, because Darkseer, he might not be good against the AM in lane, but as the game progresses, he becomes increasingly difficult for the AM to deal with, because AM illusion is something that crushes you, right?
Yeah.
So as the game goes on, as the wall of replica gets stronger and potentially he gets an Aghanim Scepter somewhere down the line, I wouldn't be feeling comfortable if I was Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that the Darkseer on the top lane, he is just finding that free farm. Afterlife moving around with the Iron Shell, not really being contested for the past few minutes, so he is finding that space. Going towards, it looks like the Guardian's Greaves right off the bat, but while this is happening, Team Spirit just right into the Roche Pit, and they do have that Beastmaster here, so he's going to be able to send out Hawks, get some early warning systems. Ow, oh, Darkseer might even lose his courier, as it looks like Yatoro. So cruel, so cruel.
Yeah, that's not really nice from him, but you can see the sense of urgency now from Team Spirit. They're going for objective-based gaming. They don't want to dive any longer. They've kind of went for the most their lineup can do. So okay, we can't do this, we can't do that. Now let's go back to just playing a normal game of Dota, and they are still pretty far ahead.
Yeah. And this net worth lead here, again, only 4k, 7-11 and 5k now, only 7-11 in terms of kills. But One Move, like you saw, trying to jump onto the anti. Oh, the anti-mage, he gets the counter spell off now as well onto Gilgir. So he's got that chase down, no TP for the Tiny. Tiny trying to get himself away from this one, but the toss is going to be stolen as well. 3 heroes around. It's only going to be a matter of time before Gilgir goes down. Yatoro walks himself right back into the avalanche, but it looks like with the body blocks, saving the kill for the anti-mage.
Usually, I don't care who gets the kill, but AM is that kind of a hero. Laurel is alone in the mid lane, so he's gonna lose the Aegis.
Maybe. He's just gonna be able to walk himself out of the Static Storm. He's gonna be... I mean, he's got bolt charges here as well. He's gonna be fine.
Man, are they afraid? One move. I mean, at this point, you have nothing to lose. Those kind of things you should go for. I know the Team Spirit are very good at responding, but it would have been a really nice thing to get the Aegis down, especially after you've committed a Static Storm. Now you can't really fight for 60, 70 seconds.
Yeah, at least they do have the wall and the exorcism still up if a fight breaks out. But it looks like Yatsuro's just going to split push out one lane, make sure he doesn't get engaged on it, and the collapse on the other there as well. You see him on the other side of the map, just making sure that tier 1 tower goes down. And one move, Afterlife, he's still farming in the jungle. We'll see that there's going to be a dive in though. Did they actually get the kill to Munkushi? Munkushi, he's going to go down again. The magic damage is way too much. He just could not stand up to the 3 heroes that are jumping on him.
He's gone, and the Storm Spirit will have a BKB. That becomes a big issue because now he has an Aegis, you can't kill him. And once he gets a BKB, again, you can't kill him. Your only physical damage is going to come from the PA, especially burst physical damage. You have some from the Exorcism, but you're not going to be able to keep the Storm in place.
No, I like this from one move that they know where Team Spirit are, so they're just looking at 2-3 heroes to put the pressure onto Yatoro. You know, chase him away from those ancients. Just make sure that he doesn't get the best out of this map. You know, he's not getting everything for free. Meanwhile, that is happening again. Collapse is still pushing out this top lane. Collapse. Hasn't he even? I don't think he's died. No, 3-0-2 on this Beastmaster. He's having a really good time here. Collapse. Oh, the damage from backlines now as well. The silence comes out. Aincrad. Do they have enough to get the kill onto the Dead Prophet? Dead Prophet. There's going to be telekinesis. The lift up as well. Aincrad trying to get himself away with that.
Stolen Exorcism.
Though. To get the silence, Lal might go down. The Aegis is still not being popped. To get the drag back before he does go down now as well. And Phantom, he's going to be the next target. To get 2 of these. They might even be able to, they will be able to go for more, get that tier 2 tower, and you know, what's to stop them now going for that tier 3? 18 minutes in, 19 minutes in, and they're diving right towards the fountain.
Radiant's top tower has
This has been the name of the game. Team Spirit diving, one move being helpless.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Yeah, no, that is, it kind of sums it up. Yeah, one move finding a couple of picks, but even, again, the Storm Spirit, he has that full BKB, he has a regen rune there as well. So all he needs to do is pop that BKB, dive himself away, pop the regen rune, and he gets himself out alive, no scratches. And yeah, 19 minutes in, Team Spirit, they take a Rax.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. It's Death Prophet wants to use the Exorcism. Rubik was ready, and the second that Exorcism gets stolen and the fight is already lost, you know that you're going to be losing a lane of Rax. It doesn't matter how many glyphs you have, you're going to be in trouble, and they used all of those here. They're not going to have any to defend the mid lane tower. They're not going to have any to defend the bottom lane push. So Team Spirit right now, they're on a roll, and they're going to be looking to end this game really fast.
Yeah, and you can already see them moving around as 4 heroes. You know, the anti-mage looking towards... It's so early, he doesn't even have the man to complete it off. In fact, he's going to go for a Sanjin Yasha. He's so far ahead, he doesn't even think he needs a split push potential of that Manta style.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about that SNY. Even though I see it on Yatoro from time to time on heroes where I would expect a Manta,
yeah.
I definitely, in this game in particular, don't see much usefulness of a status system, especially against the Tiny, against the Disruptor on an anti-mage. It doesn't do much for you. So I'm very much surprised about this one.
Yeah, and Panzerman trying to do some, what looks like, you know, some warding. And yeah, the odds this time, one move, you know, right up there on the 9-to-1 odds. And Team Spirit just having a great time at the minute. And EGB obviously seeing them as the favourites coming into this match. So they're back and going to go their way. Do they get the jump onto the anti-mage though? There is 3-4 heroes stacking around onto this. And no, Yatsuro's just going to be able to blink himself away from the danger. And yeah, everybody on the side of one move just have to TP themselves back because Collapse just being able to apply the pressure with the rest of the team. They need to defend the tier 3 towers they have left.
Even though from our perspective this game is probably over, one move they still want to play it. And if you let another lane of Rax fall, you're going to be in trouble. They're up against the Beastmaster. This is not going to go good.
No, the BKB comes out from Lol, so he can just walk himself through that kinetic field, get himself away. And
again,
Ankar's going to try and do what he can here with the Exorcism, but he's just going to be taking too much damage. Vacuum comes back, though. There was no wall used here. Afterlife, he does drop that wall as he's trying to run himself away, but this is just in a position where the GG is going to come out. Yeah, one move. They tried a last gasp attempt, but it did not work out.
You know, this is Aincrad unconsciously telling Team Spirit, please win as fast as possible, giving them Exorcism twice in a row, because you don't want to look weak to your team or even to the fans. They're saying like, okay, GG early on, so you're like, okay, let's find a way to make them win faster. Then you give the Exorcism twice to Mira, who uses it twice to completely crush your base. But yeah, after that fight, after the Larl 9-second BKB usage, it was obvious that one move they had nothing else to give in this match, and you could see Larl being slightly more greedy in this game. Everyone playing around him. Team Spirit winning all the lanes. It was pretty much a schooling for one move, and this is the reality, the difference in class between the two teams currently.
Yeah, and not to take anything away from one move, they had a good season last season. They thoroughly deserve to be in Division One, but yeah, team spirit. I mean, you're looking at potentially the best, if not the second best team in the region. Head to head with Bet Boom in the last tour. It was only divided by that last series between the two, and even that last series, I think the game they went to a full best of three. The games went on for absolutely forever. I'm sure Gary and Trent enjoyed casting those 70-minute games, but yeah, so not a lot separating the two teams, and one move to come up against Team Spirit on the second game. It's good experience for them on how Division One might be. It means that they've got a VOD to look back to. They've got a lot of things that they can take from this game. But at the minute, yeah, Team Spirit just still one of the strongest teams, if not the strongest team in the region at the minute.
Yeah, definitely. And one move usually relies on, we don't have the greatest laning stage, but we can hold our own in
Yeah.
the early mid game to mid game. And Munkushi is really the standout performer of this lineup, right? But if you get so crushed by a team that's ahead of you by a pretty significant margin, your idea of allowing Munkushi to have some space is never going to come to fruition because, yeah, you're going to lose a game in 20 minutes.
Yeah. So would you prefer to see one move draft something that just takes up early fight potential in this next game, or how do they want to try and play around Munkush? What do they need to do to be able to enable him coming into the second game up against Team Spirit?
I think if you want the game to go longer, you're going to pick lanes that cannot lose. Not necessarily winning lanes, because winning lanes can sometimes lose you the game really early if you don't crush them, right?
Yeah.
Just get something in the lanes that cannot lose, something that is going to be going toe-to-toe, so that you can get into the early mid-game somewhat on even ground, something a bit more passive, I'd say, and then go from there. If you don't allow Spirit to break you in the early laning stage, you might have a shot to actually play a game, unlike this one where it was like Spirit attacking and the only kills you got is because Spirit overextended.
Yeah, and looking into the next game for Team Spirit, they do want to be coming out in the same position. They do have control of this with the momentum going through. But one move, they want to drag it back. They want to get themselves back, and they want to go down swinging if they can. But first, guys, we are going to be taking a quick pause before we get into game number 2. So we'll see you after this break.